Welcome to our very first episode of Nerds in the Berg, our sort of like podcast recording where we talk about our various hyperfixations, nerd stuff going around, just everywhere out in pop culture, as well as the things happening up here in upstate New York, Plattsburgh, New York in particular. Joined here with my co-host.
Hello there, Xavier. We'll just
and myself, Desmond. Pardon us, as this is our first episode recording.
You might have some spotty audio quality for the first.
We're working through it.
Yeah.
But for our very first episode, we wanted to talk about something that just came out here in 2026, which is the
Year of our Lord.
Mandalorian and Grogu film.
Right, we saw it. We saw 340 showing.
Yeah,
dead. Not a lot of people there.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're wondering what times are dead around the Regal Theater, maybe try 340. It was delightfully empty, I would say.
So, I think to start, and with initial thoughts about the movie.
Initial thoughts. Well, I'll be quite honest. Before the first trailer was announced, I was kind of like, I mean, whatever. Star Wars was trying to disillusioning me with film and kind of TV at that point. There's only a few stuff from the streaming shows. I was like, oh, that's good. Everything else I think was kind of mid and to bad. But then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, maybe they're really pushing like the old timey like you didn't even see the marketing with like the logo. It's like, oh my goodness, this is like harkens back to like old westerns or those types of films from like the 50s. And I was like, oh, maybe there's some sauce in here. But yeah, initial thoughts. We saw the movie. And I thought it was pretty good, pretty okay.
Same. I liked the film. I think that it had pretty phenomenal visuals to start.
Mostly.
And
I did that. I'll talk about my one visual nitpick when we criticize it. But
I'm curious if it's something
for
I want to talk about.
For a movie that had, I think, less than $200 million budget, I thought it looked fine.
Yeah. I know I didn't look into any spoilers, but I did hear from you and someone that we saw at the theaters who was leaving that the movie wasn't super good. Not that it was bad, but it just wasn't phenomenal.
As a crusty, friendly man, he said, oh, it's just nothing I haven't seen before. Which, I mean, at this point, I don't know. I get it, but I also, it's like, I think every modern blockbuster is a land of recyclings.
Yeah. And like on that, you know, of course, recently I've sort of just been digesting a lot of Star Wars content. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I've fallen behind on things. And these last couple weeks I've been watching finishing Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian in preparation for this.
Yeah. Phantom Menace. That's for
yeah.
another project.
That's that. We'll talk about that in another episode. There's a lot to talk about there. Stuff like that. I'll probably be watching Skeleton Crew at some point soon. But Mandalorian Grogu, this would be the first. This is the first film for like this era. This sort of.
Between
like
6 and
post,
7.
Yeah, this post Return of the Jedi, but before Force Awakens.
I don't know what you call it. I don't know if like I think they just call it the Mandoverse.
The Mandoverse?
The Mandoverse.
Yeah. And that's like Ahsoka, that's Book of
Skeleton
Boba
Crew.
Crew.
Oddly enough.
But I at least thought that the Mandalorian Grogu movie was good. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the looks. The fight scenes were pretty good. I mean, we just had finished watching the new Maul show that had come out, Shadow Lord, and at least in my opinion, that had some of the best fighting scenes. I think that has all of Star Wars.
Definitely is the best.
Mandalorian Grogu does not
for animation
does not compare, but it's still good. It's still very good, and there's a lot of various fight scenes throughout. I think moving a little further than. Initial thoughts, though, and into more spoilery, detail-oriented territory. Mando Season 3.
So if you haven't watched the movie, maybe tune out.
Yeah.
But if you have...
Hey, if you're interested in hearing about the BBQ Bounty Whopper Meal at Burger King, we will be reviewing that after the movie, as us and a pal of ours decided to make a big Mando-verse day today.
Yeah.
Mando Season 3, you had mentioned before about how the movie doesn't really require you to have seen a whole lot. Do you want to go a bit more into that?
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure timeline-wise it's after Season 3, but it's something which I would not be surprised if it was like, oh, it actually takes place between 1 and 2, because I think you just need to see Season 1, honestly, to understand like, oh, he's a Mandalorian. who has like some honor code, and he has a little guy that he cares for, and is kind of adopted as an apprentice son kind of figure. I don't know if it's like a reaction to some of the mediocre to bad like fan thoughts of season 3, but it really just seems like a spiritual successor to the season 1.
Yeah,
I don't know if you thought that.
yeah, I can agree. It does take place after Mando season 3. Like the end of Mando season 3, it has Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, going to this new Republic base. I'm blanking on the name of the planet. But speaking with like Sigourney, like I think
I didn't even know what they named
what's the guy's name? The Sigourney Weaver's like lieutenant. That he's the X-wing pilot on Blue Team. But anyway, talking to him and basically saying, hey, the Empire's still around. They're hurting people, and they're hurting people that I know.
Carson something, right?
And is it? I think so. Yeah.
Carson something. I'm bad. I don't know his last name.
There's too many people in Star Wars to remember.
True.
So
Dave Filoni's in his squad too.
Dave Filoni is
as Trapper Wolf.
and if you're a Dave Filoni fan or not a Dave Filoni fan, he is in the Mandalorian film. Wearing his iconic cowboy hat in one of the scenes, which was very funny. It's very it lingers for a bit, but I thought it was.
Yeah,
funny.
I wish. Spoiler for down the line, he does not wear the cowboy hat while piloting his X-wing.
No.
Which I was like, come on.
You can do it. Come on.
You're right, committed.
You can do it, sir. So yeah, it takes place post season 3. Mandalorian is starting to work with the New Republic as a what he the quote independent contractor, though.
Basically, a bounty hunter that fights Nazis instead of space Nazis and like the mafia instead of like I don't know the Republic
instead of
which I wonder that implies
a bad guy.
Which I wonder that implies if Din Djarin before did contracts against. Oh yeah, he did. He
met Grogu when he was supposed to kidnap him.
Well, I also forgot he did break into a New Republic prison ship.
Oh yeah, that was season 1. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess he did in the past.
So connection to season 3 versus the other ones. Yes, it does take place after season 3, but if you've at least seen season 1 of The Mandalorian, and if you preferred season 1 of The Mandalorian to the later seasons, it's still a pretty good watch. It's just sort of a jump to like, hey, Mando is gone to working with the New Republic now instead of various like. I'm
trying to think if there's any jumps clients. That's like you wouldn't get if you had there's some stuff if you hadn't seen season 1, you might be like, what? But not even there's not even a lot. I think
season 1 is. I disagree because I know that prior to this, some of the people involved were like, "Oh yeah, this is like disconnected. You don't have to watch anything." I think watching Mando season 1 is required. After that, not really. I'd be pretty big spoilers for how the Mando shows turn out later. But Luke Skywalker's there. He actually takes Grogu for a bit, raises him as like an apprentice.
And then
shortly,
and then you never find out what happens until not even his own show. You're like, oh, do you want to know what happens to the Mandalorian Grogu question? That's in a different show.
Yeah, and so
a bad show.
Grogu. I thought it was pretty average, but yeah, there's nothing striking about it. Grogu goes off with Luke Skywalker for a bit, comes back to Mando. Other than that, he meets Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars, who now has like her own show as well.
Which I think she first appears in season 2.
Yes.
But I think season 2 starts a trend of like, I guess the quote unquote like the cameo slop, as some people might say, or like expand, like turning the Mandalorian and Grogu journey from something interpersonal to like galaxy, they're obviously teasing like a big Imperial Remnant and New Republic showdown.
Thrawn gets mentioned in season 3.
Yeah, like spearheaded by Thrawn. So, he's mentioned it too. Ahsoka's like,
yes,
Morton Elsbeth, where's Thrawn? And she's like, oh, you've got me, you silly goose. And then you see the outcome of that in her show. But we're not here to talk about Ahsoka.
Beyond that, I think the huge plot development in like Mando season 2, season 3 is him, because I know back when Mandalorian first came out, some people were saying, hey. Like the way that the Mandalorian is portrayed in this show does not match with like anything that we've seen before, like in Legends or in canon. And in going to season 2, they explore more of that, and it's like, oh, so there's various Mandalorian societies that have different rules for what they consider to be the true Mandalore. Season 2 introduces that, and in season 3 it goes like way hard, and it has I think there's the 3 major tribes that we meet.
Season 3 is a lot. It delves a lot into like Mandalorian like culture and like, tradition.
And of course, it is driven by this problem of like, hey, the Mandalorians don't really have a place in the galaxy, and they're trying to find out like what that is. And then it ends with them retaking the planet Mandalore from the Empire, and I think like putting out like saying they're going to put out like a call for other Mandalorians to join them.
Yeah, just like a rallying cry to come back to the motherland.
So yeah, season 3 of Mandalore has this really cool plot, in my opinion, where they retake the planet and they're trying to reestablish what they're gonna be in this new galaxy with the New Republic and like the remnants of the Empire still around.
Well, first,
Grogu.
Do you wanna explain what was your thoughts on season 3? As a season 3, I guess, is like...
I was a huge fan of Mandalorian season 1. I like Mandalorian season 2.
I think Mandalorian season 1 is almost a perfect series.
Season 3 of Mando wasn't that great. I thought it was pretty average, but my favorite part of it was the plot of retaking Mandalore. That was pretty fun, even though I think it was only... There's
weird.
There's a lot of build-up, but it's only actually 2 episodes.
It's 2 episodes, and then a lot of, like, we need to find X and Y to get to... Like there's a Lizzo. I don't even remember why they're in the Lizzo planet. I think it's because they need
they need
X-Woves. The other Mandalorian.
Who he's a big name Mandalorian. He's like Bo-Katan's former number 2, and they need him to get help to retake the planet basically. Post season 3 though, we see Mando leaving this work to go work for the New Republic, and there's kind of implied to be a time skip where Mando's been going around with Sigourney Weaver's character. And he's
I don't even remember her name was dropped.
I
may have missed it. I
might have missed it.
Gun to my head, I do not know what her name is. But where does it know Sigourney Weaver?
She's a cool character. I know you turned to me at one point during the movie, and you're like, "Is Sigourney Weaver the secret villain?"
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I can think about whenever she's here.
Because I was like, Because I think I'll save it for later. But there's a point in the movie I was like, "Oh, we're done with this," which was fine. And I was like, well, what's gonna be happening?
And I think we'll talk about that more because I know you're talking about the Empire bit. Mm-hmm. So there's sort of an implied like time skip between season 3 and where Mandalorian and Grogu pops off. Mando has been going around. He's been working with this group of former Rebel Alliance, now New Republic military to capture.
They're pretty sure they're Navy, right? Must be. They fly ships.
Yeah, Navy.
It's like Special Ops Navy group.
So, working with them to capture Imperial warlords, survivors of like the old regime who have managed to keep their power to some extent, and they are posing a bit of a problem to the New Republic, and they need to be brought in. And so, it has a really cool start, I think, where it really just jumps into... Honestly, when I saw the trailer, I thought they were going to focus a lot on the Empire. But no, most of the Empire scenes from the trailer are like the first 12 minutes of the film, maybe.
Yeah, with the snow. So all the stuff you see in the snow planet basically is the intro, which I think is fine.
I thought it was the climax when
I was like, oh, then he discovers the secret base, which I think is good because in the trailer they showed a lot of footage from that. So I was like, oh well, why are you giving away? Like, there's a whole thing with modern trailers where I think they just give away a little too much. Thing I was kind of worried about with like that, but that was just literally just. It was before the title drop.
Yeah.
It was Mando just, kicking ass and killing some Imperials. And then I'll have to go back and see season 3 of the Shadow Council scene. I think that guy is in the Shadow Council.
I think so, yeah.
But he appears to be just like... Well, he's obviously just getting money from whatever system he is. But
he's extorting, the
which,
villagers.
To be fair, I guess he needs that. You would need that to, for your war machine. Do you think Mando and that New Republic know about the Shadow Council? Or is this like the deck of cards is just like people that just escape and just a coincidence that some of these people are on?
I think based on what we've seen in other places, I don't think the New Republic knows about the Shadow Council, but they know something's up. They seem to think...
Especially Carson. Because in Carson Season 3 is like, Lost Stuff's not adding up with the pirates and like...
Yeah, the New Republic officially seems to think that the Empire remnants are not really working together as a big group. And of course, we the viewers, we see the Shadow Council scene. Like, we know that the Imperial remnants, at least some of the big ones, are still working together to accomplish the Empire's goals. Some of them might know Palpatine's alive, but I think we'll talk about that in a completely other episode.
We'll talk about it when we talk about...
a weird scene. But yeah, so he was one of the Shadow Council guys. So allegedly, like a pretty high up. There's this fun kind of almost like horror movie like chase scene where Mando is just kind of taking out.
I was gonna say it's kind of Predator-esque. A little bit. I don't know. Maybe there's a better analogy of what they were trying to do with, but it was very like I was getting Predator vibes from.
They made him very badass.
Yeah.
He's just taking out snowtroopers like left and right. Of course, the Imperial warlord guy escapes.
I do like it when
Very funny.
he's
Yeah.
like, hey, I take a blaster. If we're dying, we're all dying together,
Yeah.
type of thing.
And then of course all the people he's been extorting just drop their blasters
like,
the moment
"No,
Mando
you know
shows
what?"
up, and then point to the elevator where he gets
Like,
kicked.
it's not worth it. He's over there.
He's like, yeah, just drop the blasters the moment everyone else is gone.
Which is, I don't know. Those stars are insane.
Yeah.
You never like. They seem to be wanting Imperial protection, but
It's not enough. I think they're starting to see the cracks.
well, yeah. Well, he wants more money, and obviously. Well, then he also just he also guns the guy down. But he's like, who was like, can we just talk about this? Like, nope. Oh, and they're like, whoa, maybe the space Nazis are
The bad guys?
maybe they're the bad guys.
So yes, so this chase scene happens. It goes out and to the mountainside. So he's fighting like these AT-ATs. He actually takes out like 2 AT-ATs.
No,
well, the guy
he blows up his own
AT-AT. Just tries to
also, side note, I love the little ATSC like pot, like the little stiff pot. I was like, what the hell is that?
So
thing?
confused.
What
I'll
is
go on
that?
like the Wikipedia to check that out later.
I think based off a toy, because I know Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, what they like to do is they like to put in characters or like ships that were like based off toys that they had, and I guarantee you, if you looked up like ATSC like speeder stiff or whatever, you'll see like a toy like that.
But very funny, like launched out of the back. There was like an audible like giggle I heard like in the theater.
I mean, it's a funny
It is funny. He just opens the door and then like, an AT-ST head grows wings and flies out of the back of an AT-AT.
That can't be.
That's not exaggeration. That's actually what happens in the film.
That can't be standard issue.
Yeah.
That seems like. That does like, I'm gonna build a so cool.
And then
ship.
he ends up like shooting down the starfighter and
with the AT-AT.
meets with like Garazeb Aurelius, Zeb from the Rebels TV show, who he has a slight cameo in Mando season 3. I think it's pretty obvious they were trying to build towards the movie with season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So Zeb is apparently working with Mando and the rest of this New Republic blue team to hunt down these Empire remnants. Of course, the problem is that Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, just keeps killing them. When they get back to the base, there's actually a really nice opening title, opening credits, which I don't think. I'll have to go back. I don't think a Star Wars movie has actually done an opening credits.
No, I didn't. I think that just harkens back to like an older era.
Like an older, yeah. So they go there and find out that Mando's just been killing like all the Empire remnant people, and it's kind of getting on the nerves of like his superior officer. It's like
she's like, listen, I get it. They're space Nazis, but like we need some we need little peanuts from these guys. You know, like
we need to like interrogate these people for more information.
And Mando's like, I don't understand.
Yeah. He's like, well, if I just keep killing them, we don't need more information about them.
You see, if I murder them, there will be no one to get information from, so I've solved the problem.
And it's a cool trope I like that some shows and movies do with the deck of cards to represent like the targets.
Oh yeah, the old I think it's like a Gulf War, like Saddam was. I think it's like a setup like. U.S. troops being given like dead cards. They're like, oh, if you find this Iraqi official, blah blah blah.
I know the old the Mercenaries game on the original Xbox had that as like tracking your targets in the game. I thought it was so cool when I played that when I was younger. So of course we find out that there's this priority target, this coin guy, and he is this elusive Imperial officer who some people even think is like dead. Some people think he's dead or he's like long gone, and they don't know what he looks like. What occurs is that Mando is given the same, actually it's the same model of ship he flew in season 1 of the show before it was destroyed, the Razor Crest. That's fun. I'll talk a bit more about callback stuff later. He gets the Razor Crest as like an advance payment from the New Republic, and he goes off with Zeb to meet with the Twin Hutts, who are in the Book of Boba Fett show as like very, very minor antagonists.
They're barely even antagonists, I think. They're just like, hey, we kind of want our own like kingdom back, and Boba's like, nah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, hey, fine, but other people are gonna be trying to gunning for your territory. Peace.
Yeah. So he meets with the twins who are guarded by the droid Gatra, which is an awesome like faction in like this background for the Star Wars canon.
I think it's been around. In the books for a while.
And
the comics has kind of lingered around.
I think this is their first appearance on screen.
They have
been an animation at some point in the background, but
maybe, but
live
I
action.
don't think so.
This is the Droid Gatra's first appearance. They're basically a bunch of they're kind of like a bounty hunter slash mercenary soldier
Army
for
guild,
hire,
yeah.
like guild union of droids. So it's cool. We get to see like some B2s and some super like battle droids,
B1s.
stuff like
I think
that.
I saw a commando droid.
I think there was a commander droid.
I know there's a
K
T2s you
two,
said.
yeah, K2 SO,
Um,
HKs,
HK's from the Ahsoka show
yeah,
and from Mando.
very very fun.
Oh, and L3, right? It's in the L3 heads.
Oh, and a few,
At
yeah.
first I thought they were the Imperial Probe droid heads, but I'm pretty sure
I
that
think
they're the L3 Proto droid heads.
from
Solo.
the
Yep.
Solo movie. You know, he meets with the Hutts to this cool like entry into the palace, where he talks to Din Djarin talks to his apprentice Grogu about the pride and the sort of depravity of the Hutts, and we get to see them kind of just like
Lounging.
napping and like.
I thought they were doing other things. Like, whoa, they showing that.
I also thought that
like they're having
we saw,
like some sort of
Hutts-
orgy, but like no, I think they're just like
They're just napping, which is really funny.
like mud napping. I was like, oh
Yeah. So going through this
Call me
this
disappointed.
cool Hut palace, meeting the twins, and the twins are like, "Hey, so we'll give you this information about Coin, but you have to go save our nephew, who I think it would be their cousin, but I won't really question like the Jabba the Hutt family tree.
If
Because
they're cousins, I don't know.
he would be second cousin, but anyway, they
Right.
choose the word nephew in the show or the movie. So
Well,
hey,
that's because
we
Hutts
need-
actually have a different way of doing film construction.
we need to find our nephew, Jabba's son, and yeah, if you watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars, you know who that is.
I do like. They're like, oh yeah, it's Rada, right? It's
Rada the
Rada
Hutt.
Hutt from like
The Clone Wars, the little ugly
movie.
slug baby.
yeah, that
Um,
everyone. I remember everyone hated. I was like, oh my god,
and they
this
made
sucks.
Jon Favreau and Filoni. They make fun of that in the movie.
Yeah, they're like, well, we only got one picture of him, which is kind of crazy, but whatever. It was funny, and it was like this little slugling, like, oh yeah, we got this picture.
Like a live action version of
Yeah,
what
of
the
the,
bad CGI one looks like.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The bad CGI one, he kind of looks like he like those like those slimes from that one RPG. They did the happy face. If you took those upside down,
you mean the Dragon Quest.
yeah,
slime?
he looks like the Dragon Quest. You like reverse
Yeah.
upside down, put arms on. I mean, in brown.
Yeah.
That's what Grogu looks like in that movie.
So they find out that he's on this planet that has a big
forgot
like
what
mob planet, a mob.
It's like a
presence.
casino planet, or no,
Yeah.
not casino. It's like
It kind of looks like Space Chicago.
It
I
does.
mentioned that
It's
when we were in the theaters.
Yeah, you're like it's Chicago.
Like they had like rail lines and like the lights.
It was
and
pretty
everything.
sick.
Oh, this is just Space Chicago, guys.
I wish I didn't remember the planet's name. Maybe it's a
Maybe
T.
Shockus, or there was the moon maybe.
It's a Shocker's a Thocus. It's either SH or TH.
So they go to the planet.
Kind of a cool planet. I like
with Zeb. So Zeb doesn't have a big presence. He kind of just acts as like pick up,
pilot.
drop off. Yeah.
What I think for that, he does fight a bit of stormtroopers later on, but for a character that no one would have seen, if you've not seen Mandalorian or Rebels, I think he was used like not so much amount where people are like, who is this guy? Like he's a background character, I think.
They do actually. They go to, and they talk to the Martin Scorsese monkey.
They do. I forgot Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese's in that as the Aurelian. The other guy is that from the character from Solo. That's played by Jon Favreau.
Yes.
Whatever his name.
Yeah. So Martin Scorsese monkey.
I thought, hey, they used him in 2 scenes. I thought he was like a one and done deal, and they used him in 2 scenes.
So he goes to the monkey guy, and the monkey guy I thought was a fun character.
Yeah, fun.
Kind of humorous because Mando tries to do like the classic
Here's
RPG
some money.
movie. Hey, here's some money. Give me the tip.
He's like,
And
I
the
don't
guy's
want
like,
you. I don't want your money.
I don't even want that. Like he just the vibe in the scene is that Mando just put down like $100 bill for like a $5 sandwich.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like, hey, give me a hint about this hut. And Martin Scorsese monkey's like, nope, and tries to like close the shop on him. Like, I don't even want that much money. And then he brings up that he's looking for Rhoda the Hutt, and the guy's like, oh, Rhoda, like yeah, he's like a local celebrity.
Like, oh, he's like on the post over there, which is funny.
Which is funny.
The Maynard cranes his head like, oh, how did I miss that?
Yeah,
and it's literally like a WWE style like poster with like right in the Hut.
So he goes to like Rada's gladiator match. He sees him actually crush some guy, just straight up crush some guy to death.
Just like a little like barbarian dude. Just
he meets with Rhoda afterwards in the match, and he's talking to him about sort of like, hey, I'm here to get you. Like your aunt and uncle sent me. And Rhoda immediately assumes like, oh, you're here to like kill me.
Yeah, no, I'm here to just bring you back.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like they think that you're shaming them. Rhoda's like, nah, they don't care about me. And he's like, I'll be free tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last match in my contract, and I've gotten such a following that I'll have a big name anywhere I go. He talks. I mean, family's a pretty big part of the film.
I'd say it's. I see upbringing and like how you're being raised in a family is a big theme in the story.
I did not expect. I thought they were gonna be like, oh yeah, this is Jabba the Hutt's son, but no, the Jabba the Hutt having a son like Rhoda, and that being a main character in the film, that was a big part. Like Rhoda's characterization is very much like, hey, I know my dad is that evil crime lord,
Basically,
slug
Space
guy,
Al Capone.
like
Yeah.
Space Al Capone, and that's not me. Like he mentions that when he first got to that gladiator like arena, everyone thought that he was like trash and that he was just
Yeah,
like
he was
Jabba.
hated.
He was hated. They booed him, and then within a few matches, he became like a local celebrity, and everyone loved him. And he really realized that he didn't have to be under his father's shadow anymore, and he wanted nothing to do with the Hutt Empire. Very nice characterization of the character.
I know, which going to the film was another thing I was wondering. I was like, how are they gonna do like a? I don't know if he's adult or like a teen or whatever.
Like adolescent. He's still considered young because they call him kid even a few times.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think he's like in his like 20s.
But I was curious. Yeah,
they're
maybe 20, maybe 20s or late 30s. Which to be fair is which is not very old for a Hutt. But yeah, I was very curious. Like, what are they gonna do for Rada? Like, because we don't see Rada. Like, we see him in the Clone Wars movie, and then I think he has one like cameo.
He has a cameo later
in
on
the Clone Wars, but he's a baby, so he doesn't really talk.
And it's even implied in I think it's the third Aftermath book, like one of those weird like in between chapters where they jump to like a random perspective that Rhoda's dead. They never actually say that, but I know from being in like the Star Wars fandom for a while, people thought Rhoda was dead. Never stated anywhere. Never stated anywhere. But the implication from the Aftermath novel and even the Book of Boba Fett show when that came out was that Rhoda was done for. Like he was gone because there was no like Hutt heir for Jabba.
But yeah, he's not the one that's like, hey, dad's legacy back,
we know
my
now
empire
it's
back.
because
but
he doesn't
like,
want anything to do with it.
Yeah, he just wants to be his own man.
So he finds out from Rhoda that Rhoda's his boss is this guy Lord Janu, who is this local mob boss. He kind of controls like all the crime on the planet and like the surrounding moons. It's a very fun
smuggler.
scene.
Yeah, he's like a smuggler.
Yeah, they mentioned the salt is being rationed on the planet, so this guy just has a salt bar where it's a fun concept for Star Wars. He tries to like bribe Mando off of salt and tries to get him to like join his what do they call it?
His cadre of like gladiators.
Yeah, a stable. That's what they call it. A stable of gladiators.
Stable, yep.
Mando's like, I'm not really interested. And then Janu's like, hey, by the way, Rhoda's not going to last tomorrow night because it's my last match of her. I got some of like the deadliest creatures in the galaxy, and they're going to like rip
jump
him to pieces. They're going to jump him, basically. They call it a Dejeric match, which maybe if you're a casual Star Wars fan, you don't know. But if you remember that really cool chess scene in A New Hope where they're using monsters as chess pieces, that's what it is. So we get to see all those guys like in live action fighting.
It was pretty cool.
It was nice. And I remember one thing I was watching it, and I never noticed this like when they played the whole hologram board. But watching it, some of them had like clothes or were using weapons.
One guy has a vest.
One
like,
has strip his clothes.
Which is either like, okay, someone's like, you look really good in this vest, guy.
Yeah.
Or they're like, where he's like, the creature himself is like, where's my vest? But it's it's really funny of a concept.
Even for animal-looking ones, gave like pretty knowing looks, which made me assume, and this is just my guess, I haven't looked this up, but it made me think like, hey, wait, are the Dejeric monsters all like cavemen? Like are they in their Stone Age or something like that, and like they're just being captured by like other aliens? For like their sports.
I don't like troll like you know how trolls in fantasy are like they're not they're somewhat sentient, but like at the end of the day, like they're still like brutes. That's what I do.
Rancors, I think, are similar. Rancors are like semi.
Star
Wars. But yeah, so Din Djarin finds it out, the Dejeric fight. He leaves and then he tries to rescue Rada.
Before that, I like how the guy Lord Janu's like, if I were you, I'd bet your money on him dying. I was like, oh my god, he's fan-dueling him over here.
the predictive analysis.
Yeah, he's like. So the real villain was predictive analysis betting markets the whole time.
So after finding this out from Janu that Rhoda's gonna die, he goes to Rada, tries to convince him that he's literally there to save his life, and then Rada
snitches. He was like,
snitches him out to the guards, and then Din Djarin gets captured and gets put in the gladiator fight too. Din actually ends up defeating Rada twice.
Well, he fights him, but then he's like, I concede.
Yeah.
So I just like. Technicality,
and
Rada won.
So
and everyone's like, "Wow!"
Oh, that's a really good scene because it pairs well with what we hear a little earlier, where Rada's like, "Oh yeah, like everyone loves me here." Like,
I paid 100 credits for this.
Yeah, and then when Rada loses the fight,
he's like, "Oh,
everyone boos him, And then they start saying, "Kill him! Kill
Kill
him!"
him! I thought they loved
And
me.
Rada has this like look that he gives up to the crowd, where you could tell he realizes like, oh shit, like I was wrong, like assuming that like really this is like where I'm meant to be.
Yeah.
Janu releases the Dejeric monsters. There's a fun like monster fight scene, which really harkens back to like older sci-fi fantasy. Bad stuff happens. The monsters get out. There's a little bit of monster rampage in space
Monster
Chicago.
Mash.
The monster mash in space Chicago. Rada tries to escape because he doesn't want to go back to
Also,
Nalhutta.
seeing a hot powder speeder was funny.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go get us a speeder, and then he jumps into a giant speeder. He's like, sorry, I gotta go, and leaves. And there's
I was like, whoa, how's he? He's like, I didn't think it just looked as it happens very fast. I was like,
Yeah.
how's he fitting in there? I think they literally like just over. Did he find a ship that just happened to like fit him,
yeah.
or he just with his pure bulk
we
was
see
like,
a few smaller ones,
great.
and he goes for the big ones.
Yeah, or he's like, or he made his own, so like
so
crushing people, like crushing the speeder.
Oh yeah, they eventually catch up to Rada though.
Well, they kind of like
Rhoda.
drop a dungeon in front of him. He's like, I won it. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Well played.
They arrest him and they're like, hey, we're bringing you back to Nalhutta. He's like, why are you after me? He's like, well, you know, Mandalorian's like, well, see, the Hutts, your cousin, your aunt, uncle are gonna give me the info about this Imperial Remnant warlord coin. And Rada's like, are you kidding me?
Yo, hold up. You know Janu is coin, right?
Yeah,
He's like, huh?
Commander Coin is Lord Janu. And
which I wonder if I never played Outlaws, but I know that the main villain of Outlaws is like creating like fake syndicates bankrolled by the Empire to like do their like deeds and like root out the rebellion. I wonder if Coin was like part of that like ISB
operation.
I think by town.
I haven't played it. I
haven't played it, but I know that's like the main thing. And but he's he's pretty well connected with the criminal.
I would say that for an Imperial Remnant, he very much played into the underworld persona. I did not even guess that he was part of the Empire until that.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's also like
it is funny though.
There's no like there's no line like, oh, he took over. He seems like he's been here for a while.
He's pretty well established.
Yeah, so like with the monkey guy being like, you don't want to mess with him. He is so. I need it for my sandwiches.
Also, his full name is just Janu Coin, which is so funny. Like again, no one has. There's no Wikipedia in Star Wars. Yeah. There's no Facebook. You can't look up people's names.
Which I don't know.
Mando had no way of knowing his last name's Coin, but it would have ended the plot way earlier.
Yeah, which I don't know if it's a criticism or just like how the universe is. Whatever. I won't. I'll save it.
So if he finds out that Janu is the Commander Coin that they're going after, the New Republic is going after, and so Rhoda
tells him where his estate is, which I think is on the other moon on the system. That's
like
that's the implication.
It's kind of like a beach planet.
Yeah, it's like a bluff planet.
So Janu is in his estate, his mansion, and he's like find the Mandalorian. And Mandalorian's like, I'm right here, and then he guns down like all of his guards.
I'm already way here.
Takes him hostage, and then Rhoda, Zeb, and Mando with Grogu. Grogu's here for the whole time.
No, Grogu's in the ship. Just
Grogu's on the ship.
Like, start the ship! He fires 2 missiles. He's like, he doesn't know what you're talking about, bro.
So they manage to escape. They go back to Navarro, which was a fun, well,
because then they hand in Coin, and she's like, Sigourney Weaver. I don't know her name. Character's name. Sigourney was like, good job, and he's like, I need some rest. And then that's the part of the movie I was like, wait a minute, what's happening here?
Oh yeah, like something bad's gonna happen.
I was like, huh? I was like, what's just that's like that is the end of the Empire, and basically in that movie, folks.
Which the Empire is irrelevant after
pretty much
like I don't know. Again, you don't have a clock in the movies, but after a pretty early part of the film, the Empire is gone, and we're dealing with the criminal element.
Maybe 40 minutes, 30 minutes in the film.
I'll probably mention this if this series goes farther. Criminal stuff in Star Wars is my bread and butter. I love the whole edge of the Empire and the criminal underbelly of the galaxy. So he goes home to Navarro, to his homestead that he has there with like Babu Freak from like Rise of Skywalker and a bunch of other like Inzalans, I think they're called, the little like they're like gremlin tinkerer people, and he gets Rhoda a ride out of that like solar system or sector.
I thought at first the droid was part of the droid Gatra, but later it's just like now it's a random droid.
Yeah, when it I was like, we'll find out that a bit later. I thought that too. It was a weird, which maybe that's a complaint about the film. It's a weird part of the plot progression. But so he helps Rhoda to escape from the rest of the Hutt family. It seems like all well, and then we see Embo from Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and some of the books,
which is like another one, which is.
I think
Dave Filoni loves that character.
Yeah.
So like he aura farms and does some stuff.
If you don't know the name, he's the guy with the hat, the really cool hat, and he throws the hat, and he's got a dog.
Yeah, he's got a rice hat with like blades on it. I don't
Yeah,
know what you
he's
call
kind of
that
like what
hat.
is it? Is it Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, he's very much like Kung Lao.
Yeah, he just throws like his hat around as his weapon. So he shows up. Grogu escape from the homestead, but Mando is captured. We find out that the Hutts hired Embo to take Din Djarin in because
Oh, because
he was supposed to
yeah.
bring he was supposed to bring Rada to them, and then they were supposed to send him after Coin, but it was kind of just like a scam because Coin was literally the guy he was interacting with on the planet to get Rada in the first place. The Hutts knew this. They're bad people.
Bad hombres.
So Embo brings Din Djarin to Nalhutta, the if not their homeworld, it's their main planet. I know that they have their criminal.
I'm pretty sure it's their homeworld,
culture.
but like I don't know.
So brings them there. Grogu. It's actually a very funny scene. It's very. I think it's emotional, but it's also very funny. Where Grogu and the Inzalans decide to go after Mando. Like there's like a suit up scene that Grogu has where he buckles up his like Beskar armor and grabs like his little tiny
Paintball
Mando
shooter,
gear,
yeah.
and he's like he goes with these little small people, and then they go on this like a very tiny spaceship and they fly into space. I would love to see like a behind the scenes of how they did like that. It's a very puppety. It felt very Jim Henson Muppety.
Oh, that scene?
But it was good.
Yeah.
So they go after him as like the rescue party for Din Djarin. Meanwhile, Din Djarin, he's brought to the planet. The Hutt twins are like, they're dicks, of course. And then they throw him into. Oh, they take his helmet off, which if you see Mando season 1, you know that in Din Djarin's culture he was raised in, that's pretty bad. If you see someone's face, you've shamed them, but they can get their honor back by killing you. That might be a bit of what's going to happen later. So they drop him into like a pit. He fights some merfolk people. I think they're called the Ondu or Anu, something like that.
Yeah, they're actually you see them actually for the first time in as like a background species in Jabba's palace, which is kind of fun.
That's fun.
And then for some of the unused Clone Wars episodes where they had like the rough animation.
Oh, yeah,
they're I think you're right. They're like an Anu, the Anar.
But they're like a merfolk kind of species.
Yeah, they're like a salamander. They're a salamander,
froggy,
like caveman type.
And so they're there to like execute Din Djarin, but he fights them off.
They're just the appetizer. For,
a
dragon snake.
The dragon snake or the snake dragon, which I thought it was a cool monster. I thought I recognized
it was a bino. It's from the Clone Wars.
Okay, all right.
They fight one on Null.
So they appear earlier.
You see
I recognize them.
They're on Null. Except this one was all white. So
we also know from this part of the story that somehow the Hutt twins got a hold of Rada. Like they managed to capture him from the ship that
which I wish they kind of
they sort of explore a bit, but not really.
Yeah.
So they, I don't think we'll go into that the fully later, but basically later on in the movie, they find the ship that Mando hired the person to help Rada escape. Again, when it was revealed that he was captured, I also thought it was like, oh, the pilot, the droid was probably part of the Gatra. Not true. They find the droid's body. He's like shot full of holes. So at some point, weirdly, they like capture the ship and kill the droid and they crash the ship. It's weird.
Just like why would the guy? I don't know. Maybe the droid was part of the droid Gatra and he was bringing Rada to Nalhut, and Rada found out.
Maybe.
And then like they crash landed, and then the droid maybe sent a signal, and then like does he see? There's like a little fight scene with the little like merfolk guys in the ship.
Yeah.
So maybe they brought them there to like.
It's possible. So he fights the snake dragon, the Inzalans, and Baby Yoda, Grogu. They get there. They save Din Djarin, but he's been bitten by the snake dragon and poisoned. They all manage to escape. But there's a problem where they get in a little tiny spaceship, and Din Djarin realizes that he cannot get on the spaceship because it's way too small. And so he kind of has what is like a kind of a final stand where he takes out some droids, and Baby Yoda and the rest of them escape, and then he starts to succumb to the poison. But then we find out that Baby Yoda did not leave with the Inzalans and stayed there, and he uses force healing to save Mando's life.
Which I think he does in season 1, right? You should correct me.
He does.
He does on Grief Karga.
Yeah, he does a force healing on Mando, saves his life, but he's still like wounded, and there's it's half emotional and half humor, but Grogu taking efforts to help save Mando, like covering his body up.
You mean a little mini Yoda hut?
A little hut to like hide his body in, but his feet stick out. He made it too small, and it kind of irritates him, and he just hides like ferns and stuff over top. And brings food back for him. At one point, Baby Yoda encounters this fish person who I thought was a fun, small character.
You thought he was a fish person? I thought he was like a lizard or an alligator. Because they're in a swamp.
It's possible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that catfish guy.
I
'Cause
thought he was a
he
catfish
has
dude.
barbels.
So he encounters this guy. He at first steals food from him to like survive, but then the second time he appears, catfish guy saves Grogu from a big toad that eats him, which I think is a funny like reference.
Hmm.
Grogu's always eating like
Frogs and
frogs.
like little creatures. Yeah.
And so the guy like is like, "Oh yeah, I knew you stole that fish from me like the other night," and talks with him for a bit. Embo shows up, apparently looking for Grogu and Mando after they had escaped from the huts. The guy doesn't give him any information to turn them in, and he's kind of a nice guy. He finds out that Mando's poison gives the actual antidote, as the force healing kind of stabilized Din Djarin, but didn't actually like remove the poison. So that was
What I
still
know,
kind
yeah,
of
what I
killing
got
him.
out that was like he's paralyzed.
Yeah,
He's paralyzed, so he needs something to unparalyze him.
yeah. So they get the medicine, gives it to Din Djarin, and that's when they find the crash ship that Rhoda was in.
Oh yeah, Dendron is healed. So
Din Djarin's healed.
spoiler.
They find the ship that Rhoda was in. They take all the guns from the ship, and then they like arm up, and then they like the ship's barely flying, but it's flying just enough, and they like smash into the palace. They like destroy like a whole bunch of palace.
Yeah, they basically.
100%
Yeah.
of their huts just died.
I was saying, I was like, what about like the Hudson doing the mud bath and like eating the frogs?
Oh yeah,
Like,
he like crashed through like several floors in a huge spaceship.
oh yeah, huge
Um,
trawler type ship.
Oh yeah, and like wipes out several floors of it, and then gets out and just like guns blazing at the droid's Gatra.
In fact, two giant ones.
Which was pretty cool because early on it makes it look like they're statues, but then you see one of them moving at the beginning of the film.
Oh, his head.
His head tilts, so it's like, oh, those are
Also,
droids.
I'm pretty sure if you look at like the droids move during the fight scene, I think there was like stop motion or like models that they then enhanced with CGI to make them bigger.
I wanted to
Because
ask you,
they were moving like
they're jittery.
they're jittery, which I think they wanted to do. Which they're old, they're like rusty and old, so like yeah, they could be just not the greatest shape. But I thought they were like stop motion, which is a really cool callback to like the like Empire Strikes Back with of course the original AT-ATs, and I think the Lucre Hulk from Episode 1 is a whole model that they just blow up.
Yeah.
So that's I thought as someone who likes like different forms of animation and like visual media, I thought that was if that is like true stop motion, that's awesome.
A bit stop I think
it's a combination.
A bit like off on a tangent. But I think that where the sequel stuff and the Mandoverse stuff really shines is that it mixes like CGI and practical effects very well.
Right, and I know and obviously like I think that's a big criticism about that you hear from the prequels.
Yeah,
I mean there is a lot of criticism which you'll hear about hopefully soon from us. But yeah, that's just CGI was coming out at the time, so like I kind of don't blame them.
At the time, it was considered really good.
I know.
And I watched some behind the scenes stuff in Disney.
But those I love.
Yeah,
I love Proud.
Yeah,
I miss
so
Proud
film. The hulking droids that are
really cool. Really
clearly,
cool.
I think stop motion. So very cool fight scene. Didn't last long, but it's fun. And Grogu even helps a bit. He actually climbs inside of one of the droids and starts ripping him apart from the inside.
Which I think that one was a B3 like Ultra Bell droid.
I think so too. I recognized it from somewhere. I just couldn't place it where. It's possible.
Yeah, pretty cool. Regardless, both droids look kind of cool.
Cool. So
yeah.
he gets into the throne room with the Huts are, and the Huts are basically pleading for their lives.
I was like, wait. He's like, wait, let's talk about this. I need information.
Yeah, and Din Djarin's like, nope, you took my helmet off. I will kill you now.
And then Embo shows up and they fight.
Yeah, they free Rhoda the Hutt, so he joins the fight and starts fighting his aunt and uncle.
Well, good for him. Getting some of that rage against his family.
Yeah, so it's like Din Djarin is fighting Embo, Baby Yoda Grogu is fighting the dog, and it's fun because he's not really fighting him. He's just like force pacifying him for a while until Mando hurts Embo, and then the dog goes to try to rescue his master. Yeah. Rhoda ends up breaking the floor of the throne room,
like the seal to the
dragon snake lair.
Yeah, which we didn't say before is like it's a call back to the Rancor. It's like underneath the council, like the meeting room and the throne room.
Yeah, so the twins are unfortunately
gulped.
They're gulped. They're gulped. They're gulped real quick by the snake dragon.
I do. I like how you see if you see a snake eat something big, it move. You see like the Huts move through his body as it's swallowing them. It's like gulp. That's bad for you, Daddy. Sorry. Yeah. Well, they're not ready to feel bad for them. They're kind of pieces of shit. But
I have a slight thing to say about the Huts. It was an idea I had about the Huts that the movie did not prove to be true, and maybe someone will correct me at some point about this. The vibe I got from the Hutts in Book of Boba Fett, and then early in the movie was I didn't want to say anything because I was like we don't see enough of the backsides of their bodies. I thought they were
Conjoined.
like conjoined.
That's what I thought too.
Oh, okay,
Because
thank you.
like they're conjoined, like Siamese, like
Every
Siamese twins,
time
which is I don't think correct way to say anymore, but
no conjoined.
conjoined. Yeah, I think they're conjoined.
Every time they'd appear in Book of Boba Fett, they were like close up, like hugged together.
Yeah, they're always like cuddling,
And
which
you
is like
only saw the tail on one of the twins, not the other twin. I thought they might have been conjoined through the tail on
No,
the
they're
brother.
just,
But no, we later see them napping at one point, and they're clearly separate entities. But
a little
hey,
weird. But
hey, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, if you want to retcon that, please do. Like conjoined
Yeah.
Hut twins is what I thought. I'm glad some other people have thought this besides me. So yeah, Hut twins get eaten. Embo is like, I'm out of here. Like the snake dragon's out. I'm out.
well,
So
his paycheck's gone. So
oh yeah, paycheck's
well,
gone.
why would I
He's
stay
out.
here?
Unfortunately, the droid Gatra is still active. At this point in the film, the Anzalans reappear, like weirdly, and then like, hey, we brought back up, and the New Republic Blue Squadron appears to save the day.
And then they
They're
do a
like, hey,
bombing run.
we're gonna do a bombing run on the palace. Get out of there. And so
which they did. Any surviving like huts that have
they're
woken
done
up
for.
like, what's happening?
I was something that she says later. I
Drop
think,
it.
yeah, I think it justifies what happens. So just they destroy the palace. Rada and Mando and Grogu manage to escape, and they jump out. They survive. It's funny. Dave Filoni's character is the one that actually spots them in the water when
He's
they.
like, oh, yeah, they, oh,
I
yeah.
see him. Yeah.
No hat,
So-
by the way. So that's I'm sorry.
they
that's a
rescue-
minus. That's a minus a point.
They rescue the gang, and they go back to that base, and it reveals that Coin Janu had talked to the New Republic.
Basically
and
spilled the beans.
Spilled the beans that the Jabba's, like the leftovers of Jabba's empire, like the Hutts, they actually secretly sided with the Empire. So the New Republic was getting intel from them. It talks about that early in the film. The New Republic's getting intel from them, but it turns out that the Hutts were actually sided with the Empire after the like Galactic Civil War was kind of over, and were feeding info to the Empire about the New Republic. So the reason that they destroy the whole palace and they actually come to Mando's aid in the first place in that battle is because they realize that the Hutt twins are working with the Empire remnants.
Yeah, they're basically agents more or less for
for like
remnants.
the Empire. So they destroy like the Hutt operation.
Which, you know, also the stuff that Jabba the Hutt did to like the leaders of the rebellion, they're probably like, nope, drop the bombs.
Yeah. And that's sort of how season 3, not season 3, sorry, Mando and Grogu ends.
Yeah, that's a very rough.
Mando is like, hey, I think I'm taking like an actual vacation for a while.
Yeah.
Zeb and Rhoda the Hutt actually, he joins the New Republic.
Which is wild.
Which, hey,
what?
When are we going to see, Rhoda Star Wars story?
Hey, it's coming.
Or, Rhoda, Agent of the New Republic. But yeah, so Rhoda joins the New Republic.
He might be in, Hutt's level on time. He might be in Starfighter. Who knows?
I think that they're setting up Rhoda to at least appear in
something. I think we'll see him
stuff.
again.
If he's not in like the Ahsoka show season 2, maybe the movie or something.
My guess he'll be in the next Dave Filoni movie.
Yeah,
because he's kind of like a Dave Filoni creation. So I want to be like.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
So no, that's sort of our summary of the movie.
Rough summary, but for most part, that's it.
I think next is like going forward from there, because the way that Mandalorian ends is it just ends. There's no post-credit scene, and in the age of the give me the post-credit scene.
Oh yeah, the Marvel like teasing the next chapter sort of thing, which I think it's going away from films, but with like it's a Disney product, so I was like, they like tease the next stuff.
There's no post-credit.
There's not at all. There's no Thrawn.
There's no hints. Oh,
no Thrawn at all.
I think
not even like a name drop of plot.
Yeah,
or anything like
Chuba's
that.
thought going into this that I think we joked on the car ride over to the theater. The free space in the bank card is Thrawn shows up.
Thrawn shows up. Which apparently, if you were playing that game, you were wrong.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
You're playing Mando Bingo. There is no Thrawn. There's not even like a.
There's no
scene.
Shadow Council reference with Steve.
Nope, no Shadow Council.
The first guy that shows up.
Yeah.
So yes, there's no Thrawn, which I thought was interesting because this is not to say like I love Thrawn, like give me Thrawn. It's like
it's not they wanted this still to
forward,
be.
We know going forward
separate.
that Thrawn is going to be kind of central to this like Mandoverse. He's like the antagonist that they've been building up in Mando season 2 and then the Ahsoka show. I thought that hey, Mandalorian and Grogu might try to set up that.
Yeah, the next Dave Filoni movie is I think it's like the team-up movie, like the Avengers Assemble all the Mando
there's
characters.
no reference to Grand Admiral Thrawn, which If you don't know, he's the blue guy. He's Chiss. He's an alien species. He's a pretty. He's like the
There's like six
most
books out of him, both legends and canon.
weirdly like the most respected like officer in the Empire. And he's kind of
Cool
considered
guy.
like the heir of the Empire even.
At this time, for
At this
sure.
time, people are kind of waiting for him to come back from his like exile to
Which
reunite the remnants.
there is some like
Yeah.
just how canon is. Some confusion, like, well, does he know about Palpatine?
Yeah,
But we'll talk about that I think in a
the
later
future.
episode. But
So
regardless,
yeah, there's no Thrawn. The
regardless,
only
yeah.
Empire stuff is the beginning stuff with the guy they go after on the Snow Planet, and then Coin. On the flip side, from the Empire is of course the New Republic, the group that forms from the Rebel Alliance.
Which ever since Force Awakens, I'd argue they've been kind of like the Three Stooges, like nothing's that bad happening, like bumbling kind of bureaucracy of idiots, like very frustrating for some. I think that read maybe Legends materials or stuff like that, but they're always framed very incompetent, very ineffectual. Like they're so afraid of cutting red tape, like going through red tape, and like there's committee after committee, very Soviet, which is oddly enough for a New Republic, but they're just like like very bloated organization.
Yeah, the New Republic is not treated very well in a lot of sources.
Oh, especially in season 3, where they're like, "Oh, we use this imperial torture device for interrogation. Oh, for therapy." It's like, whoa.
Yeah, that was
guys, that's kind of stupid.
That was a good episode. But the whole like, we've been using an imperial torture device.
To sell the nerves of some of our more rowdy prisoners, like, that's effed up.
Guys, what are you doing? The New Republic is painted as very incompetent in a lot of sources. If you're a fan of the New Republic, you might be happy to learn that in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, that is not the case. What we see of the New Republic is, in my opinion,
at least their Navy, which I'm assuming they're not acting rogue. So.
Yeah, at least in my opinion, the New Republic that we see in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie might be one of the better representations that we've seen of them.
In canon, I'd say, for
canon,
sure.
Yes. They are actively going after remnants of the Empire, which makes sense because they're still a threat. They're very proactive. They're not like reactive. Like we know that as
they have a wanted list.
A wanted list. We know that as the First Order rises, they're more like, oh, we signed a treaty with the Empire. We don't know that they're a problem anymore.
They're just building stuff, maybe.
They're just building up their army. Like, what's the worst that could happen? So
hey, who hasn't built up an army? Eh?
Yeah.
Right.
So the New Republic isn't usually shown too good. I actually liked the New Republic in this.
They're fine.
In this
for what we saw.
I love the bombing run at the end of the movie when they fly out from hyperspace and they start flying in. I thought that was a very cool scene to actually see the New Republic in action fighting against the Hutts here, the Empire, but also the Hutts. Talking about like the future of the Mandoverse as well, the sort of like it's all about family. The Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious
family.
The movie has a lot, and the Mando show is very big on that as well. The Mando movie talks about family a lot. Of course, we mentioned earlier Jabba the Hutt and Rada's relationship was apparently not that good, and Rada was trying to like grow out from like the shadow of his father being this like evil guy, like widely hated across the galaxy.
I mean, he did
there is
throw people to his rancor.
There is a thing that gets repeated throughout the Mando movie, which is
Rada repeats a lot too, with like how he really doesn't want to be like Jabba.
Yeah,
like he wants to be his own man.
Mm-hmm.
But his contrast to like you see Mando wanting to be our guardian and like role model figure for Grogu. Because Grogu's kind of like he's like son/apprentice, I'd say.
And we see him like teaching like Grogu about like appropriate.
Like how the ship.
He's like about how the ship works. He's like telling him about who the Hutts are and like why you can't trust them.
Oh no, like how you want to suit your armor up correctly. Like
how to armor up correctly. Yeah.
Just if you remember, I'm pretty sure Grogu technically is a Mandalorian.
At this point in the Star Wars timeline, Grogu, he's not human because Mandos don't have to be human. They're just mostly
they're just mostly human because
Grogu has been accepted by Mandalorians as one of their own. So he gets that kind of like baptism in season 3, and he's like welcomed in as an apprentice. So he's being taught the way.
Just like the Burger King
way. So the family bit between Mando and Grogu and talking about how like the series might go forward. There's a lot of talk in this movie from Mando himself and even the villains. The Hutts mentioned this at one point, where basically at what point can Din Djarin stop being Grogu's guardian? On one hand, Grogu is he's like 50 years old, but that's like in Yoda species years. He's like a toddler.
Like Yoda dies at I think 960 or 9, close to
Yeah.
1,000.
He
So
so Grogu he's a young kid still, but he's being taught like the way of the galaxy. And Mando is like, I'm not gonna be around forever. Like I gotta teach this kid like how to survive. And the Hutts actually taunt him about that in the future. Like, hey, we're gonna torture you and kill you, and then we're gonna go after Grogu next, and you're gonna be there to protect him. Not something you want to say to a father figure. A very cute kid. I don't know. What do you think about that? Because that's a big thing in
I
the
agree. I definitely
yeah.
think they were trying to do like this is what happens when you do not raise a child well, or like mentor anyone well, and then like because obviously Rhoda is the you know which apparently Jabba is did I don't know, he didn't really mention what he did to Rhoda, but we'd assuming that whatever happened, Jabba was not a good father figure, and so bad that Rhoda's assumingly leaves and wants to become a gladiator, become his own man. And then on the flip side, you have Din Djarin like trying his best to like instill as much knowledge to Grogu as he can, because as you said and as the movie says, you'll die like way before he's even maybe an adult. So like you gotta do your mentoring, you gotta be a good father figure, you gotta teach him the way.
The way, yes.
So I think I think that was definitely a parallel between those two relations that the movie. That's probably not probably. I think that was a theme of the story.
There were enough. I did not think that Din Djarin was going to die in
No,
this
I didn't think
movie,
that either.
but there were enough fake out like last stands in this film. I think there were probably at least like two I can remember for sure are the snake dragon. Oh no, I guess three. Yeah, there's the
Snake
snake
Dragon
dragon. There's
Poison.
the fighting the droid Gatra in the jungle, and then there's at the end of it he has Rhoda and Grogu go ahead while he tries to hold off the droid Gatra, and then he catches up with them before the bomber room. So yeah, there's like three like last stand scenes where at least I thought in the future seasons of Mando and or movie, I think we might see Din Djarin
I agree.
die.
I think he
Yeah.
will
I
go up
think
in some sort of last stand.
this if the show didn't set it up, the movie definitely set up
I think
that
the big film,
yeah.
like the penult the alt like the end all to be all of that era of Star Wars projects is going to be. Well, probably. I think they'll kill off Din Djarin.
I think it'll be tasteful,
I
but
think it'll be
still.
tasteful. I just need to do like a comic thing, like if you want, which I think is like despair, like puts comics down, like we'll put the leftover stories of the comics. But also like Pedro Pascal is like a rising star, and there's a point where I think they're just don't want to like move on to like another actor
Yeah.
for like or another character photos, and
It,
he's expensive to hire. So like I think there's a point where they're going to be like, well, we should move on.
yeah. Again, they cover the whole like teaching Grogu and like I'm not going to be around forever in the show. They do it a lot in the movie. I
Hmm.
think that's the direction they might be going in the forward in the
And I
future.
think
So
my guess is either I don't know if it'll be like at the end of the penultimate movie, like the Thrawn movie, what we'll call it, that you'll see a scene where Grogu is
alone,
alone, but he's like he's a man, he's maybe has a helmet,
maybe
but he's
he's prepared.
he's prepared. He's capable. He's capable. He's using the lessons of Din Djarin, and he's kind of forging his own path.
I'll say, they're talking about the family thing comes up in Mando, comes up in the movie. I think it's done really well. Of course,
Because there's no way they're killing off Grogu.
no. I don't think so.
No, no way.
No.
Like we got like we did use this.
Yeah, and that leads me to my next part is that the Mandalorian show has a problem I
Season
have
3
encountered,
especially.
and the theme pops up in the movie, but I would argue it's not that bad in the movie. The retreading ground aspect of the Mandoverse and the Mandalorian shows in particular, Book of Boba Fett I think is affected a bit, but mostly the Mandalorian, 3 seasons. They do a lot of stuff over and over again. I think IG-11 is killed like 4 times in
God,
Mandalorian.
yeah.
If you watch season 1, he's the
He
assassin
blows up.
droid, gets blown up. He gets shot by Mando, and then he gets repaired, and then he blows himself up, and then he gets repaired again. But his old programmer reactivates, so they have to kill him, and then they bring him back as like as a mech suit for Grogu,
So
and then he gets killed again,
stupid.
and then they repair him another something 5 deaths I think. IG-11. I love the character. I love Taika Waititi.
Yeah, it's
However,
fine. And I think he's really
I
well in season 1.
I think I think at a certain point, when are you gonna let a character go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just think like bringing him back basically the same character. Let it be different if they brought him back. He's like a totally different personality.
Yeah.
Like Remnants, I think would be better.
In the last
But like it kind of like takes away from his sacrifice at the end
yeah.
of season one.
In the last episode, he just come back with IG-12, but he apparently has the same programming.
Yeah, so
So
it's still yeah. So like
yeah,
you didn't name him like
yeah,
it's still IG-11. Just like oh we call him 12 instead of 11 because he has more new perks than original.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Now,
I just think like I do not like personally. I don't like the Lamexu thing. I understand why they did it.
it
Just
was funny, but yeah.
it was funny, but like I don't know. I thought it was kind of a
Um,
little over top, a little stupid in my opinion.
and we're talking much earlier about how if you just watch season one of the show, the movie you can follow along. One of the interesting parts when they go to Navarro, which you'll know is like the main set piece for the first season of the show. It's where
Cool point.
Grogu and his cult live, or not Grogu.
Din Djarin, yeah,
Mando,
his
Din Djarin and his like his cult, his sect live. Is
his coven
one
live.
of the things I noticed is that with the exception of Din Djarin's homestead, in season three he gets property in the city where he can
Yeah,
build his own
I
farm.
think he gets it as a reward for
Yeah,
defeating the
they
pirates.
want to like settle down and like be like
Hmm.
their lawman. And he's like, no, I can't do that, but I will like take it because I need a place to come home to every once in a while.
Yeah.
Um, they don't explore the city with the exception of like Babu Freak comes back with his Anzalan buddies. IG-11 and how that factors in is that you don't see the new IG-12
Which is good.
in it. You don't see any of the other stuff that's going on around town. You don't see the New Republic like in the area, so it doesn't spoil anything for later seasons if you were to just watch the movie or just watch the first season and jump into the movie. I'm very glad. IG-11, I love IG-11. There's a character I also like, but I'm very happy. I'm very happy they weren't in the movie. That's Moff Gideon. You'll know him as Giancarlo Esposito's character in
Who's
the
a great
TV
actor.
series. Oh, fantastic actor in everything. In everything.
He has been kind of typecast as like the bad dude,
Yeah,
like the bad
the
guy.
charismatic bad guy.
Yeah, charismatic bad
Um,
guy.
Moff Gideon is great. I think one complaint I have about him is that he's kind of an OC character.
Oh, at the very end, very so much
Not,
so.
and this isn't throwing shade at like Favreau or Filoni or anyone else that has worked on the Gideon character. Um, he just very much reads as someone who, and he reads as like he's like I've got to be the best,
He
and
has
he's like
too much.
he's like I need my Darth Vader ripoff armor. I need my dark saber.
Which
The
also is
the
kind of
ancient
a
lightsaber.
was also kind of a Maul
Um,
rip-off armor because I'm pretty sure it has horns.
Yes, and he's like, and soon I'll find out how to transfer force powers to myself, so I'll have the force, the only thing I've ever lacked. And he's like, I am the evolution of everything, and it's like, okay,
Said
come on.
you
So
are.
I like the character, but he's very much an OC.
Yeah,
And
he has too much tools in his toolkit.
yeah,
At the very end, there, it's like
yeah,
he has clone arm. He has like clones of himself, but he also has like new super Imperials, and he has like cool bodyguards now and like black
if
armor and
yeah.
too much, too much.
If you're wondering why I mentioned Moff Gideon though, if you've seen season 3 of the show and like, wait, Moff Gideon, uh, I mean, we've talked about a lot of spoilers, but like mega spoilers for the end of season 3. Moff Gideon has a spaceship crash into him, and then the molten
Oh, a
metal,
cruiser, yeah, not a spaceship, a light cruiser
like
falls on him,
like a baby Star Destroyer, basically,
pretty much,
smashes
like a
into
proto Star
him.
Destroyer or whatever.
And like molten metal just like erupts around him and just floods him and kills him. Supposedly, a good friend of ours told us a theory he had that he did not read that scene
He's like,
anywhere
oh, I
at
thought that
all.
guy was alive. I was like,
Yeah, we're talking about him.
I hope not.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, it's like I thought they were gonna do a Darth Vader thing in season 4 where he's gonna come back and he's gonna be like melted, like seared into his suit of armor. Oh, because he has like Beskar armor now, so it's like pretty impenetrable. We're like, uh-oh. So hey, it's possible he might come back. I kind of hope not. Again, the whole retreading ground thing is a problem in Mando. They repeat a lot of stuff that doesn't have to.
They
be
don't
repeated.
know when to like bookend a character or a story
Yeah.
thread.
The Empire, that's the Empire problem. The Empire is they look cool. They're like they're the bad guys.
They're iconic.
They're
They
iconic,
like,
but
they sell
they're kind of
merchandise.
just used for everything. The first order comes up and the final order comes up, and I know you have your talk. You have your spiel about the Starfighter and how
Yeah.
like the next year of Star Wars is like that because again, Mandalorian. I think does it well where the Empire is present, but they're not the main focus after a certain part of the film.
Yeah, I mean, it's inevitable that in that era of Star Wars, like they're still like present. So I think just having them be like the cold open villain slash like I don't want to call it like the red herring villain, but like a minor antagonist to the like the real meat and potatoes of the show
Yeah.
or the movie is fine because like I don't know, you can do there's other stuff you can do in that universe and time frame too. That's not just Empire, and I think that movie does show that off pretty well.
Yeah. Cool callbacks to season one of the show. In the movie though, and probably a good aspect of like retreading. Mando does get an Ambam blaster back. That's the cool like disruptor rifle that like disintegrates stuff.
Yeah.
The moment he picks it up in the movie, I was like, holy shit, something's gonna get disintegrated.
Yeah, a lot of
um,
droid. Yeah, I think he like melts through like
he melts
a
through a
bunch
whole
of droids.
wall. He, he
Yeah,
he actually tries to disintegrate the huts before Embo shows up,
yeah.
which I was like,
Oh,
oh,
there.
it doesn't, yeah.
I, w- I wish maybe one of them does
One
disintegrate.
of
That'd be cool.
yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah, so the Ambam blaster pops up. It's such an iconic. It's the original weapon that Boba Fett had when
From
he
the
was
holiday
when he was
special.
first introduced in Star Wars, and I loved it when
It's very
Mando had
iconic.
it.
It's like a
It
devil's fork looking
yeah,
like staff blaster thing.
and there's yeah, so Ambam that's a pretty cool like reference. The new Razor Crest. They don't call it Razor Crest two, Razor Crest
I think it's just
two,
Razor Crest
but
because
yeah,
when he identifies the ship when he's landing somewhere, he's like, "Oh, this is the Razor Crest." So I'm assuming he's just gonna call it the Razor
yeah.
Crest.
Oh, how he
Which I do like. I do like he didn't get rid of his. Just in season 3, just that N1.
yeah
I'm glad he kept it because
yeah
I thought it was cool. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't like it." Which to be fair, I think the little dome thing for the baby's kind of silly. But
yeah.
like, I do like that. I do like the ship. Like the modified N1, I think is cool. It's pretty slick.
Now. Speaking of cool things that get brought back from Mandalorian,
Oh yes.
maybe they didn't have to be there though. Did you have any thoughts on
Oh,
particular bounty hunter?
and Embo.
Yeah.
Listen, Embo's cool, but like, I just didn't see why he needed to be in the film. Besides just that Dave Filoni thinks he's really cool and he likes him and voices him. So like, he was inevitably going to show up in that film. But like, he doesn't really, to me, he just I don't know. Like, he's not much of a character that man have to work off him as like a rival or whatever. He just kind of shows up, beats Mando, fights him, and then disappears.
Yeah.
And then he has that conversation with the catfish guy, and
Which we
like
don't
which we
hear.
don't hear. So it's like we can't even get like a read on what Mando's thinking, or not Mando, sorry, Embo's thinking because we don't hear any part of that conversation. So he's kind of like glup shitty in there, which I thought was like kind of unfortunate because I do like Embo as like a cool like minor antagonist, but
When I saw the trailers, I was like, oh shit.
I know
No,
I
the
thought
hat guy? Yeah.
I thought he'd be more central, but like he shows up after they capture coin, but like he doesn't stay. Like he periodically zips in and
He's
out.
kind of like a MacGuffin villain. He like shows up
Yeah,
to move the plot forward, and that's all he does.
right.
I
And
guess actually most characters do that. But if you've seen the if you watch the movie, you know he shows up, he takes Mando captive, disappears, randomly shows up in the final boss fight,
I know,
as
which is
like
odd.
as like and
It basically just someone for Mando to fight because Rada
because
has to
Rhoda's
fight
actually dealing with the twins. Yeah.
which is like.
So
What I'm trying to think, like, what could have they done? Like, I guess they could have done like,
they could just killed him.
could have just killed Embo, but I don't
No,
think.
no. I mean, like how they could have ended. Like Mando just had the big fight with the droid Gatra and then the two hulking droids. Could have just
Yeah,
disintegrated the twins right there, but they kind of lengthened it out with a really, I will say, a really cool boss fight that ends with the aforementioned dragon snake eating the twins.
yeah.
But yeah,
Maybe I don't know. Maybe if they moved, if they combined the hulking droid fight to
oh,
happen in the
simultaneous.
throne room simultaneously instead of Embo. Like they were, like if we got rid of Embo, just like have it be just the droid Gatra.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like Embo
Uh,
was kind of wasted
yeah.
for.
Embo like kind of straight up leaves the palace,
Yeah, yeah,
and then we see him in like the swamp hunting like Mando, and then he reappears
yeah.
in the palace for the final fight. In like the in the And I guess the implication is that he was always in the room because the door closed behind them when they got in, which is like weird, but they just didn't see Evo there. His hat kind of maybe shades him a bit. Well, final ratings. It was a good film.
I thought it was a fun film. I mean, I appreciate its standalone nature. I think a lot of things. I think we're starting to see the end of like the you have to watch the show and the read the comic. Like I think Marvel is trying to run that formula to the ground. People just kind of don't want to spend like money for subscription and movies anymore. So I think that trends. We're seeing that trend leave, and I'm glad that I was worried because I was like, ooh, what? When like that was gonna be the first Star Wars film they were going to put in theaters. I was like, oh, are they going to make the same mistakes and do like the Marvel thing? But they more or less made it stand on like its own thing. So which I think that's good. If we're rating out of 5, I think I would give it like a 3.5 out of
Three and a
5.
half.
Yeah,
I think that's very fair. I might move it up bit up to a 4, but I 100% agree. The 3 to 4. It's not the perfect movie, but it's not a
some
bad movie.
weird
Yeah.
there's some weird pacing stuff in the swamp, like the final swamp, which
So
kind of feels odd. Um, oh, do you want to? I mean, do you want to get into what you had for gripes since the film?
I think I've mentioned a lot of my thought opinions
Yeah.
about the film. I agree. I think that the actual visuals for the film, great. I enjoyed the story. I am super glad that there was no sort of like double backing when it was revealed that coin was because oh my god they could have 100% gone to now how to found out the coin was Jenu, and then had to go back to the planet. And I probably would have like that's a point right off right there. I'm so happy that they don't do the misunderstanding trope there.
Yeah, they kind of it's
Um,
just one and done,
yeah.
which is like
So
I think it was kind of silly that like
yeah,
oh his last
Pop.
name was Coin. I was like okay,
Yeah.
but like
But
it's as you said like they do that like
yeah.
pretty much they do that in like
Oh
a
yeah.
scene, so
There's
it's
no
like
time
whatever.
wasted.
Yeah,
So plot progression. I think I agree. There was some weird. I think this whole swamp scene lasted a little too long. But
yeah. When like Mando's like paralyzed, I
yeah.
think that
It,
drags and then like speeds up a little too much
towards the end.
towards the
Yeah.
end.
But
Um,
I did like from the swamp scene. I will say. As we finished that the ranking of the film that I did like seeing Grogu doing his own stuff.
that I liked,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was the one good thing about the Swamp Thing. Besides that, I felt like I was like, really, I like we know a big fight's gonna happen. Can
Yeah.
we get that
I
guy?
know it's like well, it's like we know Mando obviously is not gonna die. We know he's in a cool fight scene. Let's
Yeah,
just get.
I
There's
don't.
a point where I was like, let's just get to the cool fight scene because this movie's going to end.
I, I think I agree. I would give it I would get 3.5 gladiators out of 5.
I'm gonna give it yeah, 3.5 droid Datras out of 5.
uh, and
And which hey, I hope this movie does well. I hope
yeah,
Star Wars. I know they say Starfighter is their next film, which if anyone from Lucasfilm, I think well the movies are written, but if I swear to God, if if the next Star Wars film they're like, which is supposed to take place, I, the rumors say, and I'm pretty sure the lead plus synopsis does say it is going to be a post 9 like episode 9 film that could have changed. But if that is the case, even if it's okay, even if it's not the case, it takes place like I don't know between one of the like the film episodes. Um, do not have the Empire be like the main villains. We did it. I don't need more stormtroopers. I don't need more ties. Yes, they're cool, but like let's like Star Wars is such a big universe. We just focus on be the droid. Have it be the droid doctor. Have it be I don't know like criminals. Have it be intergalactic invaders. My pitch would be make it like I know we've talked about this. Have it be like the Chiss like coming out of their isolation, be like, we have to take matters in our own hand. Like, if this galaxy is a mess, we're just gonna take it over. We might cover that more in like our big Empire video.
video probably. Yeah.
But just do not have Episode Nine's villain be
I,
the
I'm
Empire.
I'm satisfied that the Manoverse will probably use like a pretty big Empire presence, but going forward for the whole series, and
And I think once
I
the
think I
Mandoverse is
think
done, and I think like just move on. But I
I
do think they are using the Empire like fine. I think they're doing
I
good.
feel like the Mandalorian and Grogu presents a very good
Alternative
alternative.
to what to do with your
Where
Star
we
Wars.
see the Empire, it's like cool. That's all the things we see. We see stormtroopers, like stormtroopers. Which, all the way, by the way, being a stormtrooper on an Arctic planet, that guy must have been freezing.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, well, I know a lot of people do not
yeah,
like that. My,
I will say, I
I
think
think what I thought was like since the Emperor like scrounging for parts, I think they just like oh we just need a helmet.
and I will say, like a really nerdy bit. Is this the first time that we've seen a snowtrooper without the face covering?
Love like the thermal
Yeah.
covering. I think so.
I
Which they look
thought
pretty sick.
I thought that that was like a completely new like trooper type, and then I was looking at the armor and I noticed that the only difference was the lack of the facial covering.
Well, I think
I'm pretty sure
you see
that
the
that's
suit up scene with like in the
yeah
AT-AT. You see some of them put the thermal mask over
yeah.
them,
I think that
which
little
I think is just
exhaust
like
is
I think it's fine.
oh
But
yeah
I think they're
oh
cool
no
without
so
it.
cool without yeah yeah.
I think that they just
Had,
did the show like,
had to
eh,
mention that by the end of the
I just wanted like
yeah
a new toy to sell a dir. But also I think the show like, well, they don't have maybe they don't have enough thermal coverage.
yeah.
It's just like, you know, it's not an empire, it's a remnant.
Yeah,
So.
we see like some tactical gear on some of the stormtroopers. They have like ammo pouches and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Which
the
oh
one.
yeah, you never see a Darth Vader leading a group of guys with like ammo pouches. But Imperial
Yeah.
Remnants, you can do whatever you want.
I will say the Imperial Remnants I think are one of the better Imperial. They're light
I like them.
factions. I like them better than First Order, and though I just like they are this. I'm gonna save the First Order final order rant for another episode. But
So that's what we have to say about the movie, the Mandalorian movie. But that wasn't our only experience for today. So if you're just satisfied listening to our thoughts on the movie, or you might have seen already the teaser clip that we put out to sort of like introduce people to Nerds in the Berg, what we're hoping to do. This is our rating of the BBQ Bounty Whopper Meal from Burger King.
which I think is an essential part of
Not
reviewing.
sponsored. Not
It's essential for reviewing any Mandalorian project.
yeah.
I think at this point.
Okay. Burger King was doing a tie-in Star Wars meal. We had to get it. So the two of us and a friend of ours, we decided to make the whole day about Star Wars. We got matching Mandalorian t-shirts
From Walmart,
That-
oh no, Target.
Which
Which, by the way, that was a fluke. We were just walking, just we're getting a vacuum, and I was like, "Oh my god, look at these!" And like this thought, like lightning
like
in my head.
FaceTime. We,
I was like,
FaceTime
"Oh my
Brian.
god, what if we all wore these shirts to go to Mandalorian?" And we
Yeah.
FaceTime. He was like, "Would you be down?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." Hey,
But yeah,
that's funny.
so matching Mando t-shirts, watching Mando and the Mando barbecue meal.
That was our dinner
Um,
because it is 2,000 calories, so we had to do like a fast before we had to do a Buddhist monk style fast before the film.
I will
Before
say,
the meal.
not before we get into the food. There's two things that you get. One of them is a collectible cup. I've seen the green and the black ones.
I think there's another one.
There might be another one, but I think it's the same art on all of them. It's the characters from the film, but it's just I think the color is different. So our friend has the green and the black one. He went without us as well. The cup is cool.
I don't know if I'm
highlights for today though.
I don't know if I'm gonna use the tub for like. What are you gonna use your tub for?
I'll save it for a bit.
I'm gonna save it, and
Yeah.
maybe if we ever did it again for like
Yeah.
I don't know something, I'll use the second one as an actual tub.
But you know the highlight, not the meal or the cup. It was the Burger King crown that's available now. There's a one with Mando and there's one with Grogu.
And Dirty like pops kind of out, like his ears are popping out,
Yeah.
so it looks like he's on your head. And then there's just the Mandalorian
Yeah,
helmet.
we do not wear these crowns in only Burger King, fellas.
Oh no, we basically had a whole uniform of the Burger King crowns with the matching Mandalorian shirt. We definitely got looks, but they were just jealous.
Well, we're nerds and we are proud of them.
Yeah, I'm not like
Yeah.
at this point like
We did.
I am cringe and I am free. So.
Yeah.
I think there's some teenagers that are laughing at us when we first entered the building.
I caught it, yeah.
think, but like, whatever. It was kind of funny though.
Not very liberating to just wear a Burger King crown
I know.
and watch a movie. I think my circulation was getting cut off at a certain point, but it was nice.
I think I had to take it out during the film because I was getting hot. I was getting itchy. Regardless, I think I wore the crown for the most of the film.
into the actual food. I think all three of us ate it in the same order.
We did shake, and then chicken fries, and then tots, and then burger.
Yeah. So the Grogu shake.
Which is like a birthday. It's like a birthday cake flavored shake with like a little like cookie crumble on top. Delicious.
Oh yeah.
Usually when like you have like birthday cake flavored stuff, it's like I think just like as an elderly man approaching his 30s, I think birthday cake flavor can be just horrendously disgusting. But it was good. It wasn't too sweet. I did taste the birthday cake. And I think it was also like mixed with vanilla.
Yeah.
It was really good. I liked it.
It was blue, like blue milk from Star Wars, of course.
And I think also like the little cookies he eats are also
Yeah.
blue.
Oh yeah. Grogu eats
His macaroons.
Yeah, it had like macaroons, and there's like crunched up like.
That was really good. I thought it was subtle. It was sweet.
I think I gave that did I give that 4 out of 5?
I
No, I gave it a 5 out of 5.
I mean,
I think
if we're judging it by Burger King products, I'm giving it 5 blue milk Glasses out of 5.
I'm gonna give it 5 Death Stars out of 5. After that, of course, we had our chicken fries,
Which were
which
the
were the garlic.
garlic Grogu chicken fries.
Very potent, but in a good way. You could really smell, like the moment they handed
Oh
you
yeah,
the bag,
like
you
what is
could
it,
smell the
garlic?
garlic
Which not even count the garlic like sauce
that came with it.
with
Yeah,
it. So if you're a garlic fiend and you're like, oh, this is garlicky but not garlic enough, you have a little like barbecue sauce packet of this garlic sauce, which was delicious.
oh yeah, the chicken fries are delicious.
They were done their own, and they were and the judge any good nugget. It has to be good with and without sauce, and I'm happy to say that for the most
Yeah,
part they are good.
mine were a bit soggy, but that's
The
the only problem I had with mine.
the chicken inside mine was very like wet and mulchy. It was very odd. I was like,
Hey, flavor though.
But flavor though, I mean, I'm eating at Burger King. I'm
Yeah.
not eating highbrow. I'm not eating
This
rotisserie
isn't a
chicken.
Ramsay restaurant.
Yeah, this ain't a Michelin star.
Sir-
I did its chicken paste. I'm eating, but it was good.
We went to like the strip mall Burger King.
Yeah, pretty
this.
much.
Yeah, I'd give it probably 4 to 5 Razor Crests out of 5.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 4 Jar Jars out of 5 Jar Jars.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the movie, unfortunately, folks. After that,
Unfortunately.
it was a bit
We had
disappointing. We had the Imperial cheddar,
Trooper
yeah.
Ranch something tots.
Yeah, they were like loaded.
Coolest box. I think the box was coolest. I have it somewhere.
That's probably gonna be on our thumbnail for the video. We'll take some photos of the of ourselves with the little stuff that we got.
Cool little box. I think I'm gonna use it for like Star Wars Legion dice or like tokens. I'm like get the fat and the grease out first, but it's a cool little box. It's like a perfect little size for carrying like dice or something. Like plastic dice. Don't put metal dice in this, but
yeah. So
I also got the snow shore trooper helmet, which is it's really simple, really cool. I like
it's
graphic design.
It's funny. It's funny that the good things we have to say about the tots is the box, because the tots themselves were
Kind of
not
disappointing.
good.
They were good.
Bland.
They were bland, and they were like
taste like, I think they were supposed to be like cheddar ranch. I didn't taste like the cheddar or the ranch.
I tasted something. Like it was definitely like okay, like it was a flavor that it was like if someone described ranch and cheddar to me. That's what I think I was eating the description of that. But as someone who's had both ranch and cheddar, I don't know what I was eating, but it was muted.
Yeah, the tots themselves
They weren't that great.
Were not the best.
Fortunately, there was not a lot of them, so like we just breezed through the tots.
They were a bit better if you dipped them in the garlic sauce, but the problem was the garlic sauce was for the fries, not the tots.
Yeah, it was not advertised, and that's the thing. I feel like these tots needed their own sauce.
Something, yeah.
Some sort of sauce. I'm not sure.
agree.
I don't design food or like flavor palettes, but like it needed something.
I don't know. I think I would.
They're lucky. I think they're lucky. They A, come in a cool box, and B, they pair pretty well with the sauce from the chicken fries. Because without the sauce from the chicken fries, they're like a 1.5 dark sabers out of 5 dark sabers.
I'm gonna say 1.5 wizards out of 5.
That's wizard.
Lastly, there was the actual barbecue.
The main course.
The BBQ Bounty Whopper, which was the unique Whopper that's being sold as part of the meal, and you can also get it separately as with like different bundles.
But you can't get the cup.
You can't get the cup unless
you have to
you
get the whole shebang.
You can get there's also a smaller one if you just want, I think, like the shake in the burger, but you also can get the cup too.
Oh, nice. That's good.
So the BBQ Bounty Whopper, first off,
here's what's on. Before we describe the taste, this is what is advertised on it. It is like fried pickles with a barbecue sauce, and I could be wrong, but I thought the bacon was like slightly candied or sweet. Regardless, there's bacon regardless. That could have been the barbecue sauce, but
is it Swiss or Mutz? I think
it's Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese, yeah. And then your usual things you get on a Whopper.
Yeah,
as well.
tomato, onion, and lettuce. I hate tomato, so I don't know if this is cheating, but I took the tomato off.
I had double tomato, so I would also be cheating on this. It was very fun saying barbecue bounty hopper wheel in like a Carl Weathers voice for the last week.
Mando.
Mando.
I've gotten you the barbecue Whopper meal.
So
cool name.
It was hyped up for us. I will say
it's a fine sandwich.
It's a fine sandwich. It's a good burger. I would say I like it as much as an ordinary Burger King Whopper, which is average.
Yeah, it's an average burger.
Yeah, it's an average burger. That is probably 3.5 bounty boards out of 5.
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have like hyped up my head. I was expecting more. It didn't help that my sandwich, and I think all of our sandwiches were like oddly lukewarm.
You mentioned that
they did not taste the freshest, which I'm not saying that they were old burgers that gave us, but I think what happened was like it was under the heat lamp for too long, and they just from after being made, and it was oddly lukewarm. I mean, we still tasted good, but I agree with you. It's just a Whopper with like that's kind of sweet and it has Swiss and fried pickles. So like yeah, I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a Imperial Shadow Council members out of 5.
Wow. So the top's kind of bring it down, but the rest of the stuff, if you're going to Burger King, if
Try
you
it,
are
try
a Star Wars fan, if you're not a Star Wars fan, give it a try anyway.
Hey, at least get the shake.
Yeah.
If you like birthday cake flavored stuff and like
If you're gonna get anything,
shakes,
get the shake,
yeah.
and they're free. So grab a Mando crown as well.
True.
But I think that's it for our ranking of the film, of the meal as well. I hope that anyone listening to this has enjoyed our ranting about Mandalorian.
And Grogu.
And, I keep calling the Mandalorian film.
It's the Mandalorian. Yeah, but we're all
Grogu. Yeah. So I love Grogu. So I'm not one of the haters that don't like little Grogu. Like the guy that we saw going in, who there was an elderly Star Wars fan who was coming out of the theater as we were going in. Nice gentleman, I'll say that.
It was funny. We were like trying to pose with the poster, and we're like, "Well, how are we gonna do this?" And he walks up, doesn't say anything. He beckons with his hands toward us, and we're like, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah,
like he knew.
He knew. So pretty solid. But then he did tell us that the film wasn't really like
it wasn't his cup of tea, and he kind of like.
And it was really funny because at one point he pointed at he's like, oh, the Grogu. I don't really know how I feel about him yet, which is very funny to hear. Again, we're like nearing our 30s. This guy was much older than us. I think he said that he watched the original Star Wars.
We're unk. He was super unk.
Yeah, so it was very funny hearing one of our predecessors within the Star Wars fandom saying that they weren't really sure what to think about Grogu yet. I'm a Grogu fan, so I will respectfully say that this is the Mandalorian and Grogu.
I'm ambivalent on Grogu, but yeah.
Anyhow, that will be the end of the first episode of Nerds in the Berg. Yeah, hope everyone enjoyed it. We'd like to get like one of these episodes out
once a month. Maybe.
Once a month, we'd hope, themed generally around nerd topics, not just Star Wars.
I think the next one is Star Wars as well.
Unfortunately, the next one might be Star Wars, guys. Sorry about that. But talking about, we're huge Dungeons and Dragons fans. I think both of us are in like multiple campaigns at once.
Too many, but yeah.
And like DMing them as well. We're huge like Warhammer fans.
Yeah.
We're just like watching like movies and stuff. I wish we had this.
It's a lost art. It's becoming a lost art.
I wish that we had this idea for a podcast when we watch Weapons, because that'd be a really fun one. Maybe we'll do a horror movie night in the future.
I think so. Oh, by the way, Weapons, so good. Weapons is better than Mandalorian and Grogu. But yeah, you'll find this on Spotify and YouTube, and hopefully in the next month, maybe sooner, we'll see you for our next episode.
And not only nerd stuff again, or pop culture stuff. We're in upstate New York. It's a great place to live. We're approaching the summer, so a lot of stuff to do. So we're really hoping to also have a few episodes, probably the shorter ones than this, talking about like what's going on around like upstate New York, Vermont as well, because we're right on the border. Yeah. Canada. It's called Nerds in the Berg.
Thanks everyone.
Yeah. Thanks everyone.
Hope you enjoyed this rambling.
Have a nice
We'll see you next one.